Think having too many cooks in your financial kitchen is a recipe for disaster when it comes to retirement? Look at what happens when you invite too many cooks to your spiritual kitchen. Rather than a simple recipe for a peaceful walk with God, these well-intentioned cooks can take what should be a simple, obvious truth about the peace of God and turn it into a confusing mess. Check it out, starting in Matthew 16:14, where the many spiritual cooks in Jesus' day are totally confusing everyone, including themselves, as to who this man Christ really is. After listening to these so-called experts ramble on with no clue as to what they're talking about, Jesus instead turns his attention to one of his servers, someone who has been with him for quite some time, a disciple by the name of Peter, and asks this simple question: "Peter, who do you say I am?" Peter's response? Pretty short and sweet and to the point. "You're the Son of God." To which Jesus reminds Peter that only God could have revealed such a truth to him, a spiritual ingredient known as revelation. It's the same revelation from God that Ephesians 1:18 talks about, where Paul prays about being enlightened for those who are trying to find this peace that everyone seeks. You see, Paul understood what Peter understood by revelation, that the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, is totally opposite to the way us humans understand God. And that might be you right now. Maybe you're totally confused as to what to believe about this God and, of course, Jesus Christ, and as a result, not sure what to believe at all. Well, if that's you, if you're looking for that peace from God that transcends all understanding, might I humbly share with you a few simple ingredients to spice up your faith and remind you of who this God is and why he placed you and I on earth in the first place. Ingredient number 1, know first and foremost that by faith, God loves you. Let's face it, it's a lot easier to get along in the world when you know that the God who created it loves you and I. Number 2, know that by faith, God has chosen you before you were even born. That's right, folks. God knew when you were to be born and knows the day you'll die. So be encouraged that he thought that much of you to bring you to life in the first place. Number 3, know that by faith, God has forgiven you. No matter what you have done in the past, nor what guilt you might be still dealing with, through faith, you are forgiven. Number 4, know that by faith, God has saved you from the wrath to come. I know this gets a tad touchy thinking about fire and brimstone, but when you accept God's hand of salvation, the fear of all that fire and brimstone starts to fade away. And finally, the best ingredient of all for creating purpose in your life and living at peace with God, know that by faith, he created you and I for good works, and not just what we can do for ourselves, but through his strength, what we might do for others. And yes, even those of you right now who are retired. There's always someone you can serve. So, Christian, you want a daily recipe for being at peace with God? Keep it simple by following these 5 basic ingredients. And by the way, you can always add a dash of rejoicing each day, knowing that this very day is from the Lord.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed that video. If you'd like, check out these other clips. And be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button for more videos.